Big win last night for the Tennessee Titans against the Buffalo Bills. I was there, one of 8,000 or so Titan fans in attendance. Different kind of environment for sure. It's Tuesday Night Football to begin with, 60,000 empty seats that were zip-tied. You were supposed to sit in your exact area. The Titans gave out Titans gaiters. Those are sort of neck masks that you could wear for the game itself. I had 3 kids there with me. We had an awesome time. And what a win for the Titans as they absolutely dominated the Buffalo Bills. Couple of stats for you out there. I would say one of the big questions in the offseason was, were the Titans a surprise team that got hot, and were they going to overreact by paying Ryan Tannehill big money? Well, the Titans decided to stick with Tannehill over maybe going and signing Tom Brady. And stat from last night's game, as Tannehill had 3 passing touchdowns and rushed for another. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill from the Titans and Brett Favre back in the day from the Packers are the only players in the last 30 NFL seasons to complete 100% of their passes in the red zone, throw 3+ red zone TDs, and rush for a red zone TD in a game. Interesting stat there. Here's another interesting stat about the Titans' dominance. The Titans became the first team to score a touchdown on every red zone possession, minimum of 6 red zone drives, have 0 turnovers, and allow no sacks since the Patriots defeated the Bills 56-10 in Week 11 of their undefeated 2007 regular season. So this was a pretty clinical beatdown that the Titans put on the Bills last night. And I don't think anybody out there is arguing that the Bills aren't a good team, given the fact the Titans hadn't played in 16 days, hadn't practiced traditionally, to come out and play like they did, especially on offense, without Corey Davis, without Adam Humphries, that's 2 of their 3 top wide receivers, and also to play without Michael Pruitt, who is their number 2 overall tight end by and large. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal to manage all of that. And when you break down that entire scenario, there is a lot of reason, I believe, for optimism surrounding the Titans. Now, earlier in the show, if you missed it, we did top 5, bottom 5, which we do on the NFL on a regular basis. Here are our top 5 teams in the NFL: the Packers, the Seahawks, the Titans, the Steelers, and the Chiefs is my Outkick top 5. The Packers, the Seahawks, the Titans, the Steelers, and the Chiefs are my top 5. The bottom 5 teams in the NFL, I've got the Jags, the Broncos, the Falcons, the Giants, and the Jets as the 5 worst teams right now in the NFL. The Jags, the Broncos, the Falcons, the Giants, and the Jets. Bottom 5, top 5, the Packers, the Seahawks, the Titans, the Steelers, and the Chiefs. Now, some of you were watching the Titans dominate the Bills last night. Others of you were watching the NLCS between the Dodgers and the Braves, or the ALCS between the Rays and the Astros. The Rays took a 3-0 series lead and effectively, it seems to me, have basically eliminated the Astros, unless we're going to have a 2004-like comeback from the Houston Astros, but I don't think anybody is anticipating that. Meanwhile, on the flip side, the Braves have taken a 2-0 series lead over the Dodgers, and this was World Series or bust for the Dodgers. Let me bring in the LA crew here, and we're about to do an Animal Thunderdome. And by the way, John Morosi is going to join us in the next segment. He is our MLB insider. What level of nervousness is the city of Los Angeles on regarding the Dodgers being down 0-2 to the Braves, Danny G?
I know Roberto is going to take the glasses half empty, so I'll go glass half full, 6 out of 10.
Only a 6 out of 10.
That's for me, because of the way they finished Game 2 with their bats finally coming alive. Kershaw still hasn't pitched, and he's actually had a really good postseason up to these back spasms, up to this point. So if Kershaw can go in Game 4 and the Dodgers show up today, then they are a team capable of tying it up 2-2.
What about you, Roberto? What's the level of nervousness?
I'm like at an 8.5 out of 9. I said the Dodgers are done, but the only hope they really have is if they could get a win today, the Braves are not really set up for a fourth and a fifth starter. So the Braves, I'm not sure who the Braves are going to have a bullpen game in Game 4 and Game 5, and then they would have their starter Max Fried pitch again in Game 6. So the Dodgers got to get this win here. Obviously, if it's not, it's over either way. But
no doubt. It's going to be interesting to see how all of this shakes out, and we will see. I will say, and I bet you guys agree with me, it's fun to be able to hear fans in the stands. Like the Braves Tomahawk Chop, you can hear when things are going well for the Braves. You can hear people yelling, "Let's go Dodgers." I think they're
hear
around,
one guy all the time say, "Let's go Dodgers."
Yeah, I don't know how that guy has a voice. There are around 12,000 people that are watching in the Dallas area. All right.
They showed Freddie Freeman's little son yesterday. It's cool watching the families
a little kick a hit,
celebrate.
Man.
Yeah, and they also showed video footage of his little son with a wiffle ball bat knocking balls around. So I have liked them showing the families in the stands celebrating. That's really cool.
No doubt there. All right, so you told me you have an Animal Thunderdome lined up for us. We haven't done it in a while. Let's cue the music and find out how the war between humans and animals is going as we move into October.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just glad I was there.
Boys and girls.
I thought he thought I was like this ginormous piece of chicken.
Dying times here.
I have a boa constrictor stuck to my face.
Sam, you have a what?
This is Animal Thunderdome.
All right, take it away, Danny G. What are you starting with?
All right, Clay, recently you've told the story of how you brought your kids to an escape room.
Yes.
I'm going to call this the Clay Travis escape room. I'll give you one torch, one whip, and I'll shut the power off in this house and lock you in there. Fox 13 Utah has the story.
A Holiday man is out of jail tonight. He's back home after Unified Police busted him with a slew of exotic snakes. Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher has an exclusive look at the man's home. Also, why he says he is distraught over what happened. Lauren.
Yeah, Kelly. So the story that this man is telling is about how much he loves his snakes, but UPD said they started to get some complaints, which led to an undercover investigation. And from there, they found some things that they said were concerning, even just beyond having those snakes.
To Marty, these are family photos.
My kids.
His kids. Burmese pythons, or Burms as he calls them. Each one has a name, like Lumpy or Stubbs. Some more than 15 years old, up to 30.
Everything I've done is just for the snakes. It's not for me.
Marty says he lets them roam his hallways, his house, their habitat. They even sleep with him in bed.
I've been doing this for 45 years. Nobody's complained up until today.
Last week, police showed up at Marty's house, they said, after they received complaints and after Marty allegedly sold a baby python he bred to an undercover officer.
Arrest me for selling baby snakes that people sell at the Reptile Expo.
UPD took Marty's 20 pythons, half of them more than 10 feet long. And in the backyard.
In the back of the home were what they call feed animals, which included 585 rats. And in addition to that, there were about 5 dead rats, 46 rabbits. And in addition to that, there were 4 dead rabbits.
Even if they were for feeding the snakes, nearly 600 rats and dozens of rabbits at one home is a problem, UPD says. So is owning or selling pythons without an exotic animal permit.
I think it's about, that situation with that many animals in a residential area. I think that there would be a big concern if those rats got loose.
I mean, here's the deal. If you just have snakes that you allow to roam freely in your house, you should be in prison. I don't know what else that guy's into, all right? But I am convinced that if you're like, hey, I'm such good friends with snakes, I just let them just live in my house and go wherever they want. No. That guy needs to be in prison. And let me just say this. Too. I'm unabashedly, I'm a snakeist, all right? I am anti-snakes. I understand some people love snakes. You people are all crazy. I would be very comfortable if there were no snakes at all right? I am like, I can't imagine. For people out there who have not listened to the show regularly, what I used to say was, remember, do we still have any of that audio from that girl who had like 9 snakes that she kept in her house? And my argument was, if you're a single guy and you walk in, and there is in the girl's house, condo, apartment, whatever, and she has 9 snakes that she just keeps, or even a snake, I'm turning around and walking right back out. It's like that GIF that's out there of Grandpa Simpson walking in, like whistling, and then he just turns right back around and goes right back out of the bar. That's how I would be if I were dating a girl that had snakes at all and I was a single guy. I'm out of the house. I'm not staying there, because here's the thing. Every snake escapes. Like, anybody who ever has a snake is like, oh yeah, and then they just got out of their cage. And so I like, they always get out. Every single time they always get out. I'm over it.
By the way, these pictures, they have a picture of his hallway and all the pythons in his bed. They will freak you out. I'm going to tweet them out at Danny G Radio. I will tag you at Clay Travis.
If you sleep with snakes in your bed, that is like next level creepy.
Yeah, and besides the permits, by the way, he was released from jail over the weekend. He also faces charges for possessing controlled substances with intent to distribute and possessing a firearm by a restricted person after police say they also found marijuana, opiates, and a gun in plain sight while searching his home.
Oh, so a guy who sleeps with snakes is a big drug dude? Wouldn't have expected that.
Snakist.
I'm a snakist. It's the truth.
All right, this next story, also from Utah. What's up with Utah today? Did you see this? It's available on TMZ later today. Check this out when you have time. A man adventuring through a Utah hiking trail stumbled across...
I saw this story. Was this the one getting chased by
6 minutes of terrifying video where this mountain lion is chasing Kyle Burgess. He posted the full video. He was on this Slate Canyon trail near Provo. Footage shows him coming across a couple cougar cubs along his run, only to come face to face with their mom. As soon as he recognizes that this beast is on his trail, he starts to backpedal. This big cat, when you see the video, it'll freak you out the way it's coming at the camera and him.
So he recorded the cat chasing him?
He did, and I guess he was saying, if I'm going to die today, he wanted some video evidence of what happened to him. I'm sorry, I would not have turned my my video on my camera. That's the last thing I would have been thinking of. But wisely, he pretended like he was picking up rocks, and that's what finally chased the big cat away at the end of this 6-minute video.
Why did he pretend to pick up rocks? I would have been trying to get as many bigger rocks as I could.
Yeah, I would have looked for a boulder.
So he was just out jogging, and he came across these 2 mountain lion cubs, and then the mom wasn't happy?
And they always say, if you see cubs, quickly head to the other direction, because obviously if
mom's not far away.
Yeah, if the mom's not far away, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. This is why I don't jog. I think jogging is overrated. I think snakes are overrated. I'm not doing either. As people right now, listen to me. I think the jogging is the worst possible activity you could do. I'm so anti-running, right? People get riled up. Like, they always say, well, you don't know what it's like to, if you complete a marathon or you complete a half marathon. Years ago, I did a half marathon. And my belief is that people who like to jog have incredibly low self-esteem because they think they can't jog for very far. And then they're like, oh, wow, I did it. I know Oprah ran a marathon, right? Oprah. If Oprah can run a marathon, I can run a marathon. I have zero doubt at all about that. And so if Oprah can do it, I don't have low self-esteem. If I spent the time, I could run a marathon. I ran a half marathon. I hated every minute of it. It was a waste. Am I still on the air?
Yeah, you are.
Why did our music go away?
Roberto just got it back.
Oh, okay. I heard it. I was clipping, and sometimes I'm sitting here talking. There's no other body there, and I'm like, maybe there's nobody listening right now. So anyway, I'm anti-running, and I'm certainly anti-running when you can be chased by a mountain lion, although at least then you have a reason to run.
Well, story 3 out of 4, and you're going to be able to relate to this one as well. A French couple who purchased what they thought was an exotic Savannah cat from an online ad ended up turning this feline over to authorities when it turned out to be a tiger cub.
An actual tiger cub.
Yes. Prosecutors in France say the couple encountered this online ad back in 2018 offering a baby Savannah cat, which is a cross between a domestic and African. The couple paid about $7,000 for the kitten because it's a top Savannah, but after a week or so in their care, the couple suspected that it was not a Savannah, which obviously, you can have a savanna. You can't have a tiger, an endangered species. Native
what convinced them that it was a tiger?
Indonesia. It doesn't say, but I got to think that if you have $7,000 to drop on a savanna and you did all that research, you could probably tell that you don't have a savanna a week into that experience. The prosecutors say that this incident sparked a 2-year investigation that culminated this past week with 9 people being arrested. The couple who purchased the cat were among those arrested but were later released by police. Authorities say that animal trafficking charges are being sought in the case. The tiger cub is now in the care of a foster group in France.
Well, we had, for people out there who missed it, we had Carol Baskin on the show. And that was interesting in and of itself to hear her. But we just bought 2 Bengal tiger, like not actual Bengal tigers.
For you, they might as well be tigers the way you're allergic.
Yeah, they might as well be tigers. Yeah, the way I'm allergic to them. So these cats are now starting to walk around the whole house. And, I mean, like the other day, my 6-year-old, they're upstairs eating breakfast. I don't know if I'm going to make breakfast for him now. I said, hey, would you rather have Dad or the cats? And immediately he said, oh, the cats. Like, so I was already low on the family food chain or family flow chart of importance. My 6-year-old has now said that he would rather have both of the cats or either of the cats than me. So strong move there for Dad.
I think secretly these cats are going to wind up liking you and vice versa, and they will be chilling on your lap during a future Outkick program.
Not going to happen. No, they don't like to be. They're very active cats. These we named one Egon after the Ghostbusters. And the other one was Leo because my 6-year-old wanted to name him Leo. I think because Caillou has a cat named Leo. So we got Leo and Egon.
Oh, they're runners. They bounce off walls.
Yeah, and evidently they urinate everywhere.
Finally, a New Mexico zoo is asking the public to keep their eyes open for a beaver that escaped from the facility after only recently being transferred from another zoo. This is like the animal version of Shawshank Redemption. The Spring River Zoo in Roswell said Busy, one of a pair of 2-year-old beavers who recently arrived from the Pittsburgh Zoo, was discovered missing from his enclosure this past Sunday. Zookeepers say that Busy tunneled under multiple fences to make his way out of the zoo. The Roswell Police Department, the city's Animal Services Department, and the New Mexico Game and Fish Department have been notified of the escape, and they've been on the lookout. If anyone sees a beaver in the city or surrounding area, it could possibly be our zoo's animal. While the beaver is relatively tame, he does not like to be picked up and should not be chased, the zoo said.
I mean, this seems foreseeable that a beaver would potentially do what a beaver does. I'm not going to call into doubt the New Mexico Animal Safety Zoo here, but it seems like they are surprised that the beaver did what we all know a beaver does. I do hope this beaver doesn't ever get caught because I want him to be like Red down in Mexico one day. Another beaver shows up and they just have a great life together.
I feel like Morgan Freeman is going to meet this beaver on a beach.
Yeah, fingers crossed that might happen.